Welcome everyone to the Victor's Nation podcast. Robinson with me, guys for life, Derek McCarty, Dre Fame. We got another solid episode for you tonight. So let's get started. But first, guys, go blue. Always
Go
go
blue.
blue.
Go blue.
Love it. Love it.
Go blue. So we are getting back into the swing of some podcasts here. And last week we, as always, as is tradition, we always end up going on rants that we never expected to go on. And once we get some questions coming into the chat, we always dive in and start answering some of the questions. But one of the things that we never got into was taking a dive into some of the additions that we're going to see to football and basketball coming up this season. And there's actually a couple different parts of this conversation. So recruiting as it used to be is not the same, right? So a recruiting class, we don't really know how long that commitment is anymore. And so the transfer portal has become a constant fill the gaps on your team that you have right now. And so actually we didn't even talk about this previously, but I'm curious to what your guys' thoughts are with the current state of recruiting and the transfer portal, because I always used to love National Signing Day. Like, I look forward to National Signing Day to see who we ended up getting, who the top recruits would sign with. And now it like that just doesn't have as much of an impact. It's exciting when it happens. It's exciting to get like a Bryce Underwood, but we don't really know for any recruiting class what that recruiting class is actually going to look like 2, 3, 4 years down the road. If they're who's going to still be with the same program or not. So what do you guys think? The current state of the transfer portal, NIL, constantly chasing money and better deals elsewhere. Do you think that's good for college sports or bad for college sports?
It's on the fence. So, man, I think it's kind of good, and there's good and bad aspects to it. So, I mean, I think college sports in general is turning into somewhat of a semi-pro league, potentially. I think it's still exciting for the sport. So you might not know what your team is going to actually look like, but there's still growth development. Do I think there needs to be certain stipulations? Like maybe specific contracts. So like do they need to sign something where they're going to finish out with the school? Like do they need to sign like they're going to graduate? Like they can maintain this type of GPA, but like I think a lot more is asked for these kids. Like I think it is turning more into a business. And we all talked about this. We've been talking about this for years, right, guys? Like we knew it was going to turn more into a business, more of like the NFL type of deal. But at the same, like I said, I think I threw some bad stuff out there. I threw some good stuff out there. Like I don't really know what it looks like and what they should actually do, but I think they should maybe like hold some of these players or these kids responsible. Like, hey, for this amount of NIL, you need to maintain this grade point average. But then we're talking about like outside partners, businesses, name, image, likeliness, so NIL in general. Like it's going to be kind of tough to control that. Like right now, I think it's kind of out of control a little bit. I think there needs to be certain aspects where they can kind of get a grasp on this because education is still primary. Like it should still be important for these kids. And a lot of these kids are going to get it, especially at the University of Michigan, but it's different, right? It's a different world that we live in, and we already knew that we were going to have to adjust to change with NIL. But I think it's going to do more than good. I mean, another good aspect of it too, like we've seen Blake Corum, we've seen especially JJ McCarthy giving some of his NIL to his offensive linemen, but also donating to and donating his time as well to like CS Mott's Children's Hospital. So we're not just seeing these players buy cars or get houses. Like I don't think the good things they're talking about with some of these players, even outside of Michigan, and what they're actually doing with these funds. And they're doing a lot of good things for the community as well too. Camps as well too. So, like I said, I think it's doing more good than actual harm. I think people see a lot of the negative aspects of it. Do I think there needs to be changes and with it, yeah, but I'm still excited, like kind of what it holds and what every year's gonna bring, because I think it's more opportunity for Michigan to get some top tier players than maybe what we were in the past. It's still kind of tough getting certain 5 stars and coming to Michigan, but I think it's gonna benefit us more than likely. So I think it's more good than bad, and more exciting. So
Yeah, Gray, what do you?
I think it should be like some type of dead period to it. I don't think people should be able to transfer when they want. As far as everything else, I think it's cool. I mean, I think it's just a part of the game evolving. At some point, everything has to evolve and it's gonna change. But I mean, I like them getting paid. It's just like I said, I just don't like the fact that you can just leave and come whenever you want, and
yeah,
that's just my only gripe about it. I feel like it's gonna change because I feel like a lot of people is getting tired of the way it is. Um, but as of right now, it's a free fall. Anybody can go anywhere if the bag right, and if
Right.
they got a spot for you. So
yeah. I feel like the
I like
loyalty
it, to
is
be
just
honest.
dead.
Oh, it's no loyalty. It's no loyalty. It's
No, I
loyalty
don't
to the
know. It's
bag
all
for
about
sure.
money.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
For sure. But you gotta
Yeah.
understand some of these NIL deals, like for instance, Quentin Ewers, if he would have stayed, he would have made more at college than he did in his NFL
Yeah.
right now.
Easily.
So it
Yeah,
just
for sure.
it just depends. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on the guy. Some because a lot of people NILs, everybody don't get the same bag. So it's all about chasing the bag while you were in college. You got to understand these kids is broke college kids. You know what I'm saying? That's trying to get to the next level. And the way the world is set up nowadays, kids want money. So if you ain't about to have them, give them no money, they won't be even interested in your school. So that's the way you got to play it nowadays. Until they make rules, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing we can do but play the game.
Yeah. No, I
Real
go ahead,
quick,
Jason.
let me mention too. So like, agreeing with everything 100% for sure, and even obviously what I said too. But like, I think we're for sure. I mean, they're chasing the bag. They're not looking specifically for loyalty. But then, like, I think my biggest concern with this too, if like we don't have certain stipulations with NIL, what does that competition look like? And I'm not just talking about football. I'm not just talking about like, hey, I'm not getting playing time, I'm leaving to another team, but that competition of life as well too. So like,
I
I'm not
mean,
talking about participation trophies, but it's like at
but
the
you gotta
same time, it's
understand.
teaching
You
these
gotta
kids.
understand.
Just wait, just wait,
It don't be the
just wait.
kids. It don't be the
It's
kids all
not.
the time. It's sometimes it's the parents. The parents is getting some
It
of these.
is.
You know what I'm saying? So
It
a lot
is.
of the kids is talking to the parents these days. I mean, they don't get me wrong. They have agents, but it's more. You know what I'm saying? Who your kid gonna listen to, you or one of these agents? He gonna listen to you if you telling them your kid, hey, put it in your ear, hey, you need this more playing time and this and this and that and this and this and that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You never know. You know what I'm saying? You got to go somewhere else to get some playing time. And if Derek offering one of my kids playing time and he a third stream and he offering them $5 million, hey, I don't blame him to go get that bag. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I said, it's just a certain time to do it though.
I think each situation's different.
Yeah, no
I think
doubt.
there's a lot of different scenarios that we're not just talking about. I'm just talking about like the competition level, like these kids are gonna face, like even after. So this is turning into more of a business and how you manage your money. NBA is one of the worst professional leagues that does that.
For sure.
And I think golf is one of the best, if not the number one. I mean, you're literally involved with every spot in that position in any of those types of tours, or like anything you have to do to like manage like everything to work your way up in that league. But like, and like I said, the NBA is it's god awful. But
I
like,
don't know a
there's
damn
got to be
thing about
certain
golf.
there's got to be like certain things like that we kind of like either certain stipulations or something to like make sure that this is still kind of like a competitive level, because I'm not gonna lie, I mean, we've talked about it for years. Big Ten, SEC. I mean, like it's gonna
To be
turn into
honest,
like a major.
Jay, we're gonna be
Oh, just wait,
competitive.
dude. Just wait. So, like, my opinion, like, this is gonna turn into like a major league. I mean, that's what it's gonna be. It's going to be the Big Ten and the SEC, because there's going to be some of these schools that are going to start dropping off. They're not going to be able to compete with this. They're not going to get the funds. It's just what it's going to be. It's going to be a professional league at some point. At some point.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like, I mean, it's all about
Yeah.
money now. The top schools with the most money is gonna have the most success, because you know what I'm saying, they're gonna outbid everybody else.
They're not going to be able to compete. So we'll see. I mean, but like what Brett was saying too, I don't know if Derek, if you want to show this again, but like, and then Nicholas too, love you too, man. But like, I completely agree 100%. I mean, I think it's a good thing. And everything that we've talked about, I agree. I mean, there's so many different opinions about it. Everything that Dre said, 110% agree on. But I think NIL is doing more good, and all people here and fans here is just a negative about it. But some of these kids, some of these players are actually doing really good things with this for the community,
Exactly.
for the school, for children's hospitals, for their families. Like, we don't know every single scenario. The fans just see the dollar sign and think they're gonna get a new car or new house. I mean, maybe they deserve it. Maybe they deserve it. They've been working their asses off, right? So
A lot of these
there's a lot
NIL
more good
contracts you got
things
to
than
give back.
percent.
It's in your
Yes,
NIL
yes,
contract. I mean, with certain people that give you
yes.
certain stuff, you have to give back. That's a part of your contract. So, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people that's from the outside looking in. Even me, I don't know all the stipulations, but I know a little bit. And some of those NIL deals, they put in there that, you know what I'm saying, you have to give back on what, you know what I'm saying, to your community or
That's a
the
really
kids
good,
or whatever. But
yes.
it's in some of those
That's a
contracts for
really
sure.
good stipulation that I'm talking about. That's some of those things should be in there, and I think most of our players anyways that want to do that. But when we've seen JJ McCarthy give back to his own teammates, to the Children's Hospital, we've seen Blake Corum do good things. Samaz Morgan as well too, and then Ernest Hausman as well. I mean, we don't hear. This is what pisses me off with NIL. These fans just gripe about it. You don't hear the good things about it. So I
Real quick.
think it gives them an opportunity to do really, really great things.
Speaking of Samaj Morgan, real quick, I know this off topic.
Yes, yeah.
I
No,
know
that's
we
why I brought it up.
I speaking of, you know what I'm saying, Samaj Morgan, I had the opportunity to take my daughter to his football camp this weekend, and when I tell you it wasn't just about football. He made it so it was like the kids, like, they went to school for half of the day. Like, you know what I'm saying, they learned about aviation, they learned about virtual reality, esports. They learned about a whole bunch of stuff in that camp.
Yep.
For that day, and then got to play football, you know what I'm saying? Then got to do some drills and, you know what I'm saying, do the football camps type stuff. But that's why I took my daughter. I didn't take her, obviously she's a girl, but shout out to my baby. She ended up getting an offer for flag football. She was the only one, you know what I'm saying, girl that got one. Salute my baby. But it was just great to see, man. He gave out, like, I want to say like 75 pairs of cleats to the kids at the camps. It was just a great thing, man. So, like, NIL can be good, and it can be used for more than what people is, you know what I'm saying, thinking is used for. Not all NIL is all cars, clothes, and jewelry. Some of these athletes, you know what I'm saying, that I personally know, this is what they love to do. It's like a passion for them, not just playing football, but seeing the next I want to say the next generation be afforded some of the opportunities and at least give some of the chances that they got. So it's great to see.
Yeah, 120% agree. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff, and then shout out to Shamaj Morgan as well too. I mean, that's awesome. But there's a lot of good stuff involved with this. And that a lot of people don't see. They don't want to talk about it. They want to talk about the negative. They want to talk about this player's been on his 9th team. Like I get that. That's kind of crazy. Or he just bought his mom out. So you don't know the situation with that family. You don't know the situation of like kind of like what they're going through or like what they're doing. Like I said, like there needs to be some stipulations with this. It needs to be controlled. So like what my brother-in-law I guess was saying as well too. But like there needs to be something. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of good things that a lot of people don't hear about that Dre just talked about as well too. And then Dre, shout out to her as well too. Like I'm getting my daughter into flag football. That's happening for sure.
Yeah, bro.
And hockey.
I
And
didn't
hockey too.
I didn't know you can get a full ride scholarship from flag football. So we're definitely on board for that. And you know what I'm saying? My baby was extremely happy. So I appreciate Shamaj and his foundation for giving her the opportunity for real.
Dude, that's the Flint, Michigan Tropics, dude. Great program. Love it.
And then Corey, look though, it do focus shift the school to money, but you gotta understand some of these kids came from nothing. Like some of these kids is coming from, you know what I'm saying, like they're first generation millionaires. So like it is to help money, but that's what it's about. And at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, that's what they're trying to achieve, to get money. So I can't say like NIL is messing it up with the school to them. I mean, because people are still graduating. You know what I'm saying? People still leaving early if you got talent enough to go to the league. Yeah, so it ain't really doing nothing but making people hop around more for sure. We got to put some type of cap or some type of control on the transfer portal, but. And with the unfair advantage, I mean, you know, that was gonna happen anyway. Once we got the pay to play, you know what I'm saying. Once that happened, the schools that's the mid level schools and below is they're dog meat. You know what I'm saying, compared to the top. You know what I'm saying, schools is getting money, so it's gonna be an unfair advantage and distract the athletes. That all depends on your parenting, in my opinion. So you know what I'm saying.
There's too many different scenarios. There's so many different scenarios, and I think fans, we just everything that Dre just said is 100% correct. We just hear the negative of it. There's so many different positives with this. So like,
I mean, but it's gonna be negative. It's gonna be negative.
For sure. Like, because it involves money. Like, but like,
yeah, for sure.
Not every
young kids, states.
Yeah, parenting and that type of person as well too. Like I can't control that type of person, how they act or what they're going to do with their money. But at the same time, like I just mentioned this, right, guys? We talk about the end game. So Corey's comment, right? So leave this up here. The end game is it's going to be a semi-pro league. So yes, those other schools that like, so number 2, it gives rich programs an unfair edge. You're right, Corey. It does right now. But guess what? The end game, they ain't going to matter. These bigger schools in the Big Ten and the SEC and other big schools across the country, they will at some point create a semi-pro super league. It's going to be 2 different conferences. It's going to be primarily Big Ten, SEC. Schools like Northwestern, maybe Iowa, these other schools at Rutgers, these other schools that might have the funds that don't want to jump on this. It's not a part of their end game. And I completely get it. Maybe Wisconsin's in there too. You know, we're talking, you know, Wisconsin too. We play them this year. It's a prestigious football. It's a prestigious program. I get it. But these schools that aren't going to jump on this, they ain't a part of the end game. They're going to be doing something else. Schools like Michigan, Suckeyes, like all these other schools in the SEC that are going to jump on this wagon, they're going to be forming a semi-pro NFL league. That's exactly what it's going to be, and that's the end game. So not to say that it's not irrelevant, Corey, for number 2. It gives rich programs an unfair advantage. That is a relevant topic right now. 110% agree with that. But at the end of the day, at the end game, it ain't going to matter. It's going to be a semi-pro league, and the big schools are going to be a part of that, and the other ones that can't afford it or just aren't giving that fair edge to NIL or just don't want to be a part of it, it ain't going to matter, man. They're not going to be able to compete. It's just not going to happen for them.
I mean, it's already a disadvantage now. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It is.
It's already
I'm just saying, like, I
so
think
it ain't really nothing nobody
it's
can do
going
about it
to-
now, for real.
if we looked at a roadmap right now, that number 2 is comment. I mean, it's relevant right now, but at some point, it's not going to be relevant anymore. That's not a part of the roadmap at the end of the road. It's just not going to be. It's done. Well, schools
It's all
aren't going to
about
be able
TV
to do
deals
this.
and shit like that. I mean,
Yes.
stuff like that. Excuse my language.
It's going to be a semi-pro. I think I swore like 3 times, dude. But like, I'm just saying, like, that number 2 ain't gonna matter down the road. It's just not. These bigger schools are gonna want to form a bigger conference, and that's gonna be your Super Bowl. You're gonna have 2 conferences. You're gonna have a Super Bowl at the end of the year. You're gonna have a different playoff structured system. It's gonna be all about the powerhouses with NIL, and then just your big brands. And some of those big brands aren't gonna be able to compete. And like Jerry said, we're already seeing it. So that's my opinion, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be.
Next topic.
So I agree with what you guys are saying, and we'll kind of use this to segue into the next topic a little bit. But NIL is a great thing. I think that the lack of NIL with the transfer, with the lack of solid rules around the transfer portal, that's what makes it a mess. We're talking mostly about football right now, right? That's where we focus that conversation. But look on the basketball side of things too, and so from the perspective of just a college sports fan, how challenging it is year over year. Basketball rosters are getting completely reloaded, like a brand new starting 5 every year that's coming in via the transfer portal.
Mm-hmm.
And it like March Madness is going to become something that I think is going to become less exciting, because we used to see runs from these underdog teams that nobody heard of that had 5 seniors starting that have been playing together for 4 years. We're not going to see that anymore, because those guys aren't going to stick around with the same program for 4 years if they're good enough to collectively make a run in the tournament. They're going to get poached. They're going to get poached by the program. So it's going to be something that on college football side of things, I think you're exactly right. I think that we're going to see 2 power conferences, the Big Ten and the SEC, merging with more schools, and we're going to see some schools that are part of it right now, right? The middling schools that like think about a Maryland. They don't have the resources to retain talented players that are getting.
Want to be a football school, but they're just a basketball school. They just need to stick to being a basketball school.
But on the basketball side of things too, from a fan perspective, like this year, you know, we didn't know what to expect out of Michigan's basketball team coming into the season. We were all pleasantly surprised, but it was a completely reloaded roster. Next year, we're going to have a similar thing. We've got some players returning, but it's going to be a completely reloaded roster because there's only 5 starting spots. And so if guys don't go to the league, guys are in and out of the transfer portal, whether you expect it or not. So I think that NIL is absolutely a great thing. The lack of and I put it on the NCAA. I don't put it on the players at all. If someone offered me opportunity to go do the same thing that I do every single day for my job somewhere else for twice as much money, of course.
I mean, that's
right?
a no-brainer.
I'll do it right now, dude.
It's a no-brainer.
Right. So I don't blame the players, the families. I don't blame the schools or the donors. I blame the NCAA for spending so many years trying to protect amateurism and not paying the players and not having a plan in action, knowing that there was going to be a very, very unbalanced playing field. And I think that then when you add in the transfer portal and the lack of guardrails around who and when people can enter the transfer portal, again, I'm not against the transfer portal. I'm all for players doing what's best for them. If there's a different program to go to where they can do what they want, or a different school to go to where they can major in something that's going to better their life and get a career. But those two things together from the perspective of the industry of college sports and the fans that are following the sports, that's where it's in a tough spot reloading every year. And we are in a great spot as Michigan fans because Michigan got on the NIL train this past year. So
season surprisingly crazy, but yeah,
we're a powerful program and a big brand and a big name. So we should always be able to compete when it comes to attracting players via the transfer portal and having a war chest behind us with NIL. But think about all those mid-level programs, right? Even the Wisconsins, right? They don't have the same resources. The Iowas, they don't have the same resources. Minnesota, right? PJ Fleck has at times been on the verge of building a good program at Minnesota.
Yes.
But they don't have the resources to compete with us, with Ohio State, with Alabama, with Clemson, with Florida State, with Florida, with Texas, with Oklahoma, like with USC, like Oregon, right? They're not going to be able to bring a guy in that's a true freshman stud and going to stick at Minnesota for 4 years. Like it's challenging. We're in a good spot on it, but it from the perspective of college sports, I think it presents a challenge for fans and for taking the underdog out of college sports, which is one of the most exciting things, I think, is when you do have an underdog run in March Madness or hypothetically in a 12-team college football playoff.
Yep.
So
we got some other comments.
Yeah, let's see what comments have come in before we transition.
Brett made a really good comment, my favorite so far tonight, besides Maniac as well too. What's up, dude? Go Blue. But Brett,
Maniac was good, baby.
The Badgers are straight hot garbage, unquote. Yeah, pretty much. I love that. And then we have John. So Big Ten games versus MAC schools will be history? ? Sad! ! Unfortunately, yes, we're going to get there. We're already seeing it with Big Ten SEC non-conference games. And the Big Ten and the SEC already working together as well, too. So, yes, those eventually probably will be going away. I would say weaker opponents for non-conference games. It's kind of tough because that's your preseason, right? You want to beat the shit out of someone week 1, week 2, week 3 to kind of get your team together, fix some things, and get ready for conference play. So that might be gone. We're talking pro football here. You're going to be playing competitive games right away. And I'm not saying college football didn't see that. We saw Michigan versus Florida. We've seen like big conference games, week 1 games in the past. But yeah, with the Big Ten and the SEC already implementing these non-conference games versus Big Ten or Big Ten versus SEC opponents, yeah, I mean, those games are probably going to be replaced by more competitive games between the two conferences as they work closely together. So, yes, those are probably going to be gone at some point. So Corey put another comment as well, too. So NIL has hurt college sports by flooding the transfer portal with over 1,700 basketball players. I know it's crazy. In one day and killing underdog stories in March Madness. So like Derek was talking about as well too, I mean, we've seen this past March Madness tournament, we've seen the top 4 1 seeds get into the Final Four. The last time we saw that was when 2008, I believe. So yeah, it needs to be controlled. So it's not like we haven't seen this before. It's rare for all the number 1 seeds to get into the Final Four, but it's paid off. I mean, look at Auburn, look at Florida. I mean, like those guys like getting like top transfer players really paid off for them, and that's what it's going to be. So Bo Ryan said it best with Wisconsin. I said it on the other pod. Michigan's kind of doing the same thing too. But as a Michigan fan, I'm not mad about it. I'm not pissed off about it, but we're seeing a rent-a-player program. And I'm not saying there's not certain bad things that we can talk about with NIL. I think we're not seeing all the good things with it. But, yeah, it's crazy. They don't want to compete. So who do we just see leave Michigan? So we just saw our point guard leave because he didn't want to compete at Auburn. Love the guy. He didn't want to compete at Auburn. They brought in a point guard. We brought in another point guard from North Carolina, Elliott. and he didn't want to compete as well too. Really good player, really good guy. He's leaving, but I think he's going to Miami, I believe, as well too. But like at the same time, like
Yeah, he is.
it's tough. Like, so Corey, I agree with you. I mean, like, I'm not going to talk all good about it. I think there's more good than what the people should be hearing, just like the freaking news, right? I mean, we always hear about the bad shit, balance coverage, my ass. It's the same thing with kind of NIL. But at the same time, like I said, there's a lot of good things with NIL that we don't hear about it. But I do agree with you that there needs to be some control about it. And what Derek said, it's the NCAA. It is not on the players. It is not on these kids. Like, I'm gonna take that money big as well too. But like, it is on the NCAA to control this, and it's just kind of havoc right now. But we can talk about other schools, maybe like Tennessee paying their players on the football program before NIL even became a thing. And they got a slap on the wrist, right? So it's like other teams have had a competitive advantage with money, and now that it's more visible, it just seems like it's out of control. And this is on the NCAA to take control of it, and it just doesn't seem like they're going to. I believe the Big Ten and the SEC, they're waiting for their time. They are eventually going to control college football for the big powerhouse programs. And then at some point, I mean, it's just going to be kind of split off from that point. So that's just my opinion, but I mean, I don't disagree with it. I mean, there needs to be some control, but it is on the NCAA to do that. They've created a culture where you do not have to be competitive. There's no more loyalty, but like, I can't blame the player. I can't blame that student athlete. I blame the actual institution that's controlling that. And that is 110% on the NCAA. 110% on the NCAA. So I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, but that's what it is. I mean, it is what it is.
It's facts. That's facts.
All right, some more comments here. Good interaction. At least a small school showed they can win with Western Michigan. No NIL money. I think right where it stands right now, college hockey and college baseball have not necessarily been hit with the same level of NIL as.
Do they even do that in baseball? They do that in hockey and baseball?
Hockey's been talked about it. It's gonna happen. Hockey's gonna happen for sure. And
I didn't even know they had NILs yet in hockey or baseball. No disrespect to that.
It'll happen.
Right.
It'll happen.
Right. But yeah, that was pretty cool. It's kind of disappointing that Western Michigan won a natty in hockey, and we didn't in the last few years. But
3 straight Frozen. Oh my god, I wasn't even gonna bring that up. But 3 straight Frozen Fours with NHL talent, and we didn't even make it to the championship game. Yeah. But hey, happy as hell for Western Michigan. I even posted it on the page too when they won against BU. I mean, that's fucking awesome, dude. So awesome.
Dusty May did it. Brought in a whole new roster. I think we only had 1 or 2 returning players from that team previously. The rest were all transfers. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Is
and then go ahead.
It worked out. We ended up having a hell of a season. We didn't know what it was going to be. And that's one of the things, as a fan, like it's fun to get to know guys for like 3-4 years. Right. Like it was, he might be a sore subject name at Michigan now, but having Hunter Dickinson on the roster for a few years, right, is fun. And having a guy that was hated by other Big Ten teams, but he was your guy that was hated by other Big Ten teams. That was fun. That's kind of going away now in college basketball. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna be in a good spot when it comes to it. And yeah, Michigan State. Well, I think a lot of old school coaches did this, and I think a lot of it is projection because they didn't have the support of the athletic department behind them or the resources to buy in. I think behind the scenes, the conversations for any program has been, hey, this is a real thing. We need to have an NIL salary for our program to compete.
Yeah.
But if that wasn't there, or even to try and keep some of the culture, I think the front is, hey, we still want to build the culture. We want guys that want to be here for 4 years. We want to build a team that wants to be here for the right reasons, not just for money.
And then NIL help. It help with just, it don't help with just players. It help with coaches too, because this day and age, coaches can get fired like that. So, for a new coach to come in and be able to not just bring his team in, but you know what I'm saying, bring some of the players that's will fit his scheme better than that what's already there. It helps him too. So it helps both. You know what I'm saying?
Especially in the NBA. You can win a championship 2 or 3 years ago and get your ass kicked.
You know what I'm saying?
It's insane.
Right before the start of the playoffs. Before the start of the playoffs.
Good Lord. It's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know, man. NIL gonna be a touchy subject.
It is, but I like talking about it.
Like I said, I don't have no problem with it. I think it's good for you know what I'm saying, everybody that's playing the game. If you ain't playing the game, that's the only reason you mad at it, because you're not playing the game. If your team, your college is playing the game, you know what I'm saying, and staying above the water, well, you know what I'm saying, there's nothing to complain about. Because it's already been happening. It's always been happening. Now it's just legal to do.
It has, absolutely. You are absolutely right. Sorry, I'm old school. If NIL is the future, then do away with scholarship programs. You know, I'm honestly, I'm surprised that we haven't seen somebody that is getting NIL give up their scholarship to give to a walk-on. You know, because some of these guys that are getting NIL are still on a full ride, right? And we always see the cool videos of the walk-ons that get told in front of the team that they're getting put on scholarship.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that this hasn't been a thing when people are financially taken care of and don't need the full ride scholarship to give up that scholarship and give it to somebody else.
I would agree if the school was paying them. The school not paying them. You know what I'm saying? I would have definitely agree if the school was paying them, but the school not paying them. So the school don't really have nothing to do with NIL money. You know what I'm saying? And then y'all got to remember, everybody on the roster not getting NIL money.
That's true.
So you know what I'm saying? Scholarships is good. You know what I'm saying? But again, I do get the point of what you're saying with the, you know what I'm saying? If you getting paid, you might as well pay your own tuition and all of that good stuff. But I still think it's like perks with being a 5-star athlete with, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's still perks of being.
It can tie together at some point. I mean,
I don't know how to say it, but I still think it's like it's some type of significance in being, you know what I'm saying, a school recruit you. Because if that's the case, there's no recruiting. You know what I'm saying? With no scholarships and no, you know what I'm saying, none of that, is no recruiting.
You might as well just have a draft at that point.
Yeah, I was about to say it's just a draft.
High school fucking draft.
Yeah,
basically.
Right.
That'd actually be kind of cool. Like, it'd be kind of cool.
Because I feel like if they take
if we want to talk about fairness, I mean, have a draft. Have a draft.
But then again, though, I forgot what year it start. But don't teams supposed to be doing that like profit sharing thing amongst the team or whatever it was called? I forgot what it was called. It's slipping my mind right now. But y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When do that start?
I remember it. I remember it being discussed. I don't think it's anything that's actually gone through, but that it is on the radar for revenue sharing. I think it's in
college football revenue sharing will be implemented 25-26 academic year, allowing schools to share a portion of their athletic department revenue with their student athletes.
Yeah,
Is
that's
it-
what
is
I'm
it
saying.
Revenue
approved?
sharing stemming from House versus NCAA settlement will initially allow schools to share up to 20.5 million annually with their athletes. This amount is obviously projected to grow over the next decade.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it started soon.
You can say
So
like
that's
there's a lot of good
that's
stuff with this,
that
but I
should
think
help
there's a
too.
lot of like there's got to be a lot of control with this as well too. And then we see a lot of previous athletes going after the NCAA too for NIL that they didn't get previous seasons years and years and years and years ago. This is before NIL was implemented. So the NCAA is in a really tough spot right now with even previous athletes. Like it is, they're in a tough spot. They're in a fucking corner basically, but. No, I think that could still happen, John. Michigan State sucks, so yeah, I can see it happening.
Yeah, man. Say, you never know.
Remember that time MSU
might get into the NIL game.
I mean, remember the time MSU like hit all their signs for like a whole like first half, and we still beat their ass 49-0.
they called us. Yeah, they ran to the sideline.
Anytime I think of anything like Spartans, like I watched 300 the other day for like the 107th time. That's all I think about. I remember beating their asses 49-0, and they hid their fucking signs, believing that shit was gonna make an impact. What a bunch of morons!
So here's a real good concept for NIL deal for
dumb.
us is the head hair is sound. Right? I'm good. I'm good there. The facial hair, no, it's if I tried to let it go, it would come in all Joe dirty. You know, like patches here and there. So we could give it a shot.
Thousands.
Corey-
You just need to grow your mustache. Just grow your damn mustache.
Yeah,
dude.
1,000 subscribers.
You look solid.
We got the mustache. Y'all get the mustache.
I say if we get 500, we're at 228 right now. If we get up to 500, we'll get Derek a mustache.
I
Get
will.
the mustache.
I will grow a mustache, and once we get to that subscriber number, and that mustache will be sponsored by Burkle's Sports Bar out of Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh man. Oh man.
It should be
Yeah,
sponsored.
NCAA ain't gonna be around too much longer, John.
Not with football. Yeah, but yeah, truer words haven't been spoken.
Yeah, and that's what he said with his next comment too. And you know, like, man, there's, I feel like there's gonna be, like, there's the like FCS, FBS used to be one or Division I and one AA. I feel like there's gonna be another. I feel like what's gonna happen is there's gonna be another division of college football that is basically a minor league to the NFL.
It's gonna be like baseball. It's gonna be
Division I,
minor leagues. Like yeah,
and then there's gonna be the FCS.
I mean, with the way things going, man, you never know how it's gonna play out. You know what I'm saying? You never know how it's gonna play out. With different states having different rules.
Focus on the wrong shit. I mean, they put these rules in place, and most of them are fucking gray. They don't know what the hell they're doing.
Like in Wisconsin, can y'all high school kids get NIL?
Yeah, I think that just got approved. So last year, when we were leaving Detroit from the NFL draft, it didn't pass, but it was fucking barely. It was so close. But I'm pretty sure this year, Derek, it went through. Like Wisconsin high school athletes can get NIL now.
Yeah,
they voted on it the year before. It was really close. So Wisconsin can this year. I'm pretty sure.
I think Michigan can. California can.
Yeah, well, California. I mean, it's trickling down to high school as well too. I mean, so we're talking the state of Wisconsin. I mean, I'm not even going to put that in comparison, but like, I mean, what about the states of Texas, California, Dre, like you said, Florida? I mean, that's where a lot of that money is going to be coming from. Those big football states as well too. It's going to be fucking crazy, dude. Crazy.
But see, like when I used to live in Florida, bro, they got about like I don't know how many high schools y'all got in Wisconsin in y'all city. But it's probably in Florida, bro. It's probably like 8 or 9 high schools, maybe. It's so many high schools in Florida, like in Orlando. It's so many high schools, bro. Like it's so many high schools.
But it's like high school is just gonna blow my mind with NIL because, like, I mean, you have the national circuit as well too. You have IMG, you have like in Florida, but like you have all these other big schools, and we're talking college football, like how these other schools are going to have an unfair advantage. Like, yeah, you're going to see that on the high school level as well too, but on a whole crazier level. So our minds are being blown with college football right now.
I don't think it's gonna be that insane in high school because you got to understand some of these high schools don't got enough money to just be poaching folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I mean, some of the alumni do. You never know how
some of these private schools are going to take full advantage of that. Advantage. I mean, that's the biggest complaint I think in this state, in Wisconsin too, is like the private versus public schools at state. The privates always win. Like they're poaching for talent, and now they're going to be poaching for talent and NIL. That high school kid's definitely going to take advantage of that. So it's going to be more private versus public. I think it's, in my opinion, it's going to be 100% more crazier on the high school level than it is actually college. It's insane, man. It's insane.
Yeah, for
sure.
What's
up, Max?
Y'all lucky y'all got kids coming up right now, because boy, if I had a son now going up, boy.
Real quick, I know we're gonna talk to our boy John Max. So so Derek and I plan on going for week 1 for New Mexico, and then we plan on going with the group for the Badger game as well too. So October 4th. So we will be around a couple of times this season. And then John, what's up, dude? Tailgate. Yeah. It's crazy.
See, yeah. I told you. I'm like, man, they already donating, man.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yes,
you already know we're gonna be there.
Yes.
We will definitely be there. It's always our first fucking stop, dude. For hours. We're gonna be there for sure for a while. So I can't wait to see you guys. Can't wait to see Hellgate. You know, Dre. It's always good hanging out with you guys.
Badger game.
Yep. We will be there. I will be there. Derek might not be there. You too, John.
Yeah,
Love you, dude.
I'm not sure.
We got a good group going.
Yeah, we do. So this has been awesome. This has been a lot of good interaction tonight in the pod from everyone. A lot of good questions. Corey's going to be there, which is probably unfortunate for everyone that has to meet Corey in person. But
I say that all the time, and I'm his friend. Love you, Corey.
So we again, as is tradition, this wasn't even a topic that we planned on talking about tonight, and we ended up spending most of the podcast talking about it. So, question for you guys, right? So we were going to talk about football, basketball, some of the transfer portal recruits that we brought in, and we were going to take a look ahead and take maybe a preview at some teams that we expect to be in the college football playoffs next year, and some dark horses. So we're coming up close on an hour. Where would you guys rather spend the last 10, 15 minutes of time talking about?
We mentioned some of the names. Are you asking the fan or are you asking the comment?
You guys.
Or are you asking us?
Okay. Hey, that's why I shut up. I was like, hold on, who you asking?
I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure. That was a fair question, Dre. It's a fair question.
for sure.
All right. So I want to talk about college football, our way too early college football predictions. And we don't have to do all 12, but I want to talk about some names, and I want to talk about some Indianas of the world. I want to talk about some dark horses. So Brett as well too. So yes, private high schools, came from a public high school. So yeah, I think it's the same thing in every state, Michigan, Wisconsin. And then Dre, why don't you call Max anymore?
I'll be busy, Max, man.
I just talked to him last week.
I'll be
Thanks
busy.
for the feedback too.
I swear. Appreciate you watching though, but man, Max, it's a crazy world I live in right now, man.
Tell me
For
about
real.
it. It's nuts. So yes, let's talk about our way too early college football prediction.
Awesome.
And I think
All right,
John
Jason,
laughed at
go.
our comment real quick about Corey as well. So,
Yeah.
just going back to that. It's fucking awesome. Love you, John. Yeah. Shoot, Derek.
All right. So looking ahead at the college football playoffs and just kind of taking a look, obviously all three of us are going to say that we are going to be in the college football playoff next year.
Yeah.
All three of us would probably say that we're going to go undefeated and be the number 1 seed and win the national championship.
Every year.
But looking ahead, I mean, unfortunately, Ohio State's going to be a powerhouse every year. That's going to be one of those things. And the 12-team playoff is probably going to consistently mean that regardless of what happens on the Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend, that Ohio State is always going to have a pretty solid shot at being in the playoffs, even if we beat them. Where in the 14 playoff,
pause real quick. Pause. So, what if Ohio State take away the noon games? Is we gonna start playing them at night? We can go back to that though. Continue.
The last time that happened,
I don't think so.
06, I think.
Right. I don't think so because I don't think Fox will ever give up Michigan versus Ohio State.
Not the noon. Hell no.
Hey, but y'all heard about the Ohio State? They trying to.
They're also trying to They're also trying to fucking make it illegal to plant the flag. It's just they're dumb.
My bad, Derek. When you said Ohio State, that's the first thing that popped in my mind. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But I don't want to talk about Ohio State. We know they're going to be in the mix, right? Whether we like to talk about them or not, whether we want them to be, we're all going to wish that something happens every year that they don't make it. I think Penn State, honestly, and I know I'm staying in the Big Ten here. I think Penn State's going to be a decent playoff contender next year. They've got a lot coming back. Clemson is another program that I wouldn't be surprised to see get back into the mix of the top tier programs. I mean, they've had a little bit of a lull in recent years, but I mean, they're coming to the ACC.
Also had some luck in the first and the second rounds of the football playoff of playing weaker schools, playing weaker opponents. Yeah. So SMU, Boise State, they pretty much just gifted them 2 rounds.
Yeah, for sure. Texas and Georgia. I think those 2 teams are going to take the SEC. Honestly, I would not be surprised to see Bama slide now. Now that Nick Saban is gone, I would not be surprised to see them become a. They're still going to recruit well, and I don't want to reduce Kalen DeBoer's ability as a coach. They have that, Dre, but so does the rest of the SEC, and they don't have the aura of Nick Saban anymore to basically say like, hey, we'll give you that, but there's a culture to our program, and if you're not going to fit in the culture, you're not going to come here. And if you're not going to come here, you're not going to win a national championship. They don't have that anymore.
Yeah, I get that.
So I think those are some of the schools that I look at that are like clear top tier type programs. Now, when it comes to like dark horse type teams to keep an eye on, Boise State is still one that I think being the group of 5 team to make the playoffs. I know they don't have Ashton Jeanty anymore, but I still think that when you're looking at underdog teams that can compete in a game of football, it's one shot, and I still think that they've got the power to do something and make some noise. If we're looking for like a mid-conference team that might come out of nowhere and be like Indiana, I'd Oklahoma maybe. They shouldn't. I don't think they're necessarily a mid-conference team, but they're a program that is right now a mid-tier SEC program that has the resources to bounce back and be a strong program.
I thought you were going to say North Carolina with Belichick, dude. I swear to God. Like,
Well,
hell no.
I forgot about that. I forgot about that for a minute.
No. It's not even on my list.
Hey, they might be in a couple years, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I can see it, but like
they might be in a couple years.
We'll see how he adapts, and just there's not a chance in hell this year.
And then one team you forgot about, Derek, is LSU. I think LSU gonna be in the mix.
Yes,
I think so too.
I think LSU gonna be in the mix.
I think they've got a bigger, they've got a hill to climb, because I think Texas and Georgia are going to be so strong. But I agree that LSU also year in year out has the resources to land as a pretty big program to make a splash.
Yeah,
I think they're going to have 3 in that conference. So
from
like
the
Derek,
SEC?
you already mentioned the other one. Yes, I think they're going to have Texas.
You taking 3 from the Big Ten, 3 from the SEC, and then where the other 2 coming from?
I'm taking 4 from the Big Ten.
4 from the Big Ten. So where the last team coming from?
It was last year, but no Indiana, no underdog, basically. So Texas, LSU, Georgia. And why I'm saying 4 from the Big Ten, just like last year. So Michigan, we don't play Oregon, we don't play Penn State, we have Ohio State at home. Ohio State, they don't play Oregon, they have Penn State at home. Penn State, they don't play Michigan, they have Ohio State, but they have Oregon at home, cross country. And then Oregon, they don't play Michigan or Ohio State. They play other OSUs. They play Oklahoma State. They play Oregon State for non-conference games. But you see how this is structured to play out in the Big Ten's favor. So I'm saying Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, based on their schedules, if they can be consistent in the way they play each other and play competitive, you're probably going to see 4 Big Ten teams, Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, in the college football playoff format with 12 teams. Now, Big Ten, SEC, yes, they're pushing for a 16-team playoff. Yeah, people, we're probably going to see more teams in this playoff format. I know everyone got anxiety outside the 4. I think it's going to be. It's not going to be 12.
I can't see 4 Big Ten teams. I can see 2.
I can definitely see. I can see. No, we had 4 last year. We did, but I just don't know. That's just me. I don't know. It's the Big Ten. It's the Big Ten, and we're showing that. So this last year, especially, I think it's more. Big Ten is more of a football conference than the SEC is last year. I'm just saying last year. I'm not saying this year, but I think we're going to have 4 from the Big Ten. It's going to be competitive in our own way with those 4 teams, and the way it's structured and the way teams are playing each other, it's going to be so competitive where I think we get Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon in. So besides Indiana, I don't really see a dark horse. Maybe you might see Illinois jump, but Michigan doesn't play those 2 teams this year. Texas, SEC, LSU, SEC, Georgia, SEC. I can see Clemson.
I was about to say, so where the last team come from? Okay, the ACC?
Yep.
Okay.
So ACC, I see Clemson. I think it's going to be a little bit more like juggernaut this year than it was last year with some upsets. I know you're going to get your automatic bids and all that stuff, but Clemson, Miami might jump out as well too.
No Notre Dame.
With NIL, with for sure. Yes, so that's that's on my list. Yep, that was my next one on my list. But Miami with NIL could jump out. Have they built the culture? Have they built that program yet? I don't know. They lost Cam Ward. We're going to see at the quarterback position. But
I got to tell y'all something off the record, too, when we get offline. When we get off live, I got to tell y'all something off the record that's going to blow y'all mind.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, Notre Dame, independent, I don't know. I mean, they got to be pushed to join a conference at some point within the football bounds, but, like, they have a weak-ass schedule pretty much every year, so they're probably going to get in again. Derek, you mentioned Boise State. That's on my list. I think Boise State still makes it. This is where it kind of got complicated with the Big 12. Arizona State is still projected to be really good this year. BYU is good.
I was just about to say BYU too.
Yes. Iowa State will be decent this year, but they'll probably choke. Another team that people aren't talking about, as a maybe not a dark horse or like an Indiana, but expected to be decent is Kansas State. So I think Arizona State makes a repeat to the college football playoff, or Kansas State jumps that and they win the Big 12 and they make the playoff. But they're going to favor the Big 10 with 4 teams. They're going to get 3 SEC teams in there. Maybe it's 4 SEC teams, 3 Big 10 teams. We'll see. But as long as it's Michigan, I don't really give a shit, to tell you the truth. No bias, football fan. But who's our next Indiana? Besides Indiana, Indiana's going to be pretty good this year, right? They're not going to be bad. I don't think they go down. I don't think last year was a fluke. I think they have a pretty good year again this season. SMU, gotta watch out for SMU. I still think that's still a pretty good football team. Yeah, maybe they make the college football playoff in some way with the 12 teams that I just mentioned outside of that, but they're not going to win the first round. Another team in the SEC to watch out for that's been really close at winning football games is South Carolina. That is definitely another team in the SEC you have to watch out for. TCU is another team to watch out for as well, too. And I think Clemson, not really pushing the transfer portal here and there, or not getting those players there. Like I mentioned them in my top 12, you can see that program making a bounce back. Miami, like I said as well, too, they have the NIL. It's all about the coaching and the culture. Can they win those other games? Can they win those big games without Cam Ward? I don't know, but you could see that team in there as well, too. But I'm telling you, TCU might be another team to watch out for. So those are my teams on my radar right now in the 12-team format and then outside the 12-team format.
Yeah.
Should be
interesting.
Catch up
on a couple comments that came in. Also, speaking of under the radar team that could surprise, and NC State is another one that I think keep an eye out for. They've got a lot of returning players from last year, and they brought in that quarterback from Coastal Carolina too.
They brought in that quarterback.
Yep. So being in the ACC, it is a little bit of a weaker conference, kind of like the Big 12, where I think Clemson can be strong in that conference, but if they slip up, there could be a team that makes a run from that conference and surprises. And NC State
too,
wouldn't surprise me.
Ole Miss gonna be good too.
Ole Miss is gonna be good, like Florida State. Could they bounce back a little bit too? I mean, last year was a big surprise. I mean, you go to Dublin week 1 and you lose to Georgia Tech. I don't know. I mean, that's still another program that's still very good with NIL as well too. And I think that coach is really solid with culture. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're missing some teams. We're going to be missing some teams that are.
I feel like it's going to be a wide open year. Anybody can win a chip.
It's going to be like every year is going to be the wild west, dude.
Yeah, anybody
every year is going to be like the West. Yep.
But only thing I'm focused on is the great block M. You know what I'm saying? I got to see how we doing.
But we talked about earlier some of the negatives of NIL and the transfer portal. Some of the positives is, even though you're not going to have maybe the underdog team that makes the March Madness run, right? You're not going to have the Davidson that has a Steph Curry on their team making a run to the Elite Eight, because Steph Curry would never stay on that team in modern college basketball. I shouldn't say never. His dad went there, so maybe he would have. But the college football playoff, the expanded college football playoff, is just a ton of NFL talent. It's a bunch of really good football programs that are, it's the best versus the best in a single elimination tournament, and that's pretty cool. So John here, so the 12-team format is not beneficial is now beneficial not to play in a conference championship game. Yeah, I'm interested to see how that trend plays out, because I'll say in the 4-team playoff, one of the things that was exciting about the conference championship game was that it felt like a playoff game, right? Because for the most part, Big 10, SEC, Pac-12, back when that was a thing, Big 12, right? If you lost the conference championship game, you weren't getting in the playoffs for the most part. And if you won it, you got yourself a spot in the playoffs. So I think, I think this year is a perfect example of Ohio State winning the national championship, right?
The Minnie Mouse championship. I agree.
Big
they
Bill
want
says going.
the championship when they do that.
I don't know. No one's talking about it. No one gives a shit. The last real national championships won in 04, so or 24. Sorry.
You see what hat I got on, sir?
Yeah. Oh, really weird.
So Brett jumping back to us talking about North Carolina, Big Bill winning the Natty. You know what? I would be for that. I would be all for Bill Belichick winning a national championship.
Yeah, go ahead. After we win another one.
If we don't win it, let Belichick win it.
All right, I'll give you that.
And then John agreed with something that you said, Jason.
Yeah, which I mean, I go on rants, John, so I appreciate you.
We all do.
Dre,
Appreciate it.
Dre, what are your thoughts on the teams to keep an eye on, dark horses for college football playoffs next year?
My dark horse, I only got one team. I'm gonna stick with LSU with my dark horse. Well, no, I add Notre Dame into that, and I'm gonna just piggyback off what Jason said with the Big Ten. I think it's gonna be Michigan, Ohio State, and either Oregon or Penn State. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be the playoff squads from the Big Ten, and then on the SEC it's gonna be Georgia. I still think Bama gonna get in there for some reason. I just don't think they're gonna fall off that bad. So I think it's gonna be Georgia, LSU, and it might even be like South Carolina or something. You never know, man. I just
It might be, dude. They're good.
It might be. I got a feeling it's gonna be an open year. So, and then with the last couple spots, I'm gonna give a spot to it just cause I'm gonna show them some love. I'm gonna give a spot to my Notre Dame, and then I'm gonna get another spot to fucking Notre Dame and BYU.
BYU.
Yeah.
That's on my list too. I can't decide on the Big 12 teams. I think there's going to be 4 of them that are going to come out. Not come out,
like
but I think
it's going to be a lot of parity this year. It's going to be a lot of parity this year, man.
It's going to be like an old West. It's going to be a gunfight. Someone's got to go.
It's going to come down to a lot of. It's going to come down to the last weeks for a lot of conferences, like championship weeks. You know what I'm saying? Or what's that week? What the week of rivalry week? That's when is that
rivalry?
Yeah.
Well, there's going to be rivalry week and then championship weekend so for like the ACC and the Big 12 because quite honestly, like outside, like so you're going to have SEC teams and Big 10 teams getting into the playoffs. I don't think we're going to have a lot of second teams from the ACC or the Big 12 for a while getting in to the playoffs. So those games are playoff games. Those conference championship games, those games are going to matter. And when you talk about like who's the next Indiana, whoever wins
Indiana.
the Big 12, right? There's but like yeah. the teams that are in the Big 12 would be 500-ish if they played a Big 10 or an SEC schedule, right? Or if they hit like a really good year, maybe they'd be like 8-4 or 9-3 if they play the schedule in the SEC or the Big 12 because those programs are Indiana-ish type programs. There's just no power teams in those conferences right now that are at the same level as Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State,
culture, all that. Yep.
Georgia, Texas, Alabama, right? Like they just don't carry the same weight anymore.
Nope. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for sure, but I think that's why the SEC and the Big Ten are pushing for 16 teams. They know they can get more of their conference teams in there. I mean, what does that equal? It generates more revenue and exposure as well, too, for those conferences. So people were already seeing it in the works. I mean, those two conferences are going to create the semi-pro league. some of the teams that are within some of the colleges within those two conferences probably won't be a part of that. But we're already seeing it in the works with non-conference games as well too, and then pushing for a 16-team playoff. So it's going to happen. The SEC and the Big Ten, they're going to create two conferences. They're going to join in one league. We're going to have our little Super Bowl in years to come, but it'll happen. It's just a matter of time. So
before we finish up here, one thing that, as you were talking, Dre, it is completely feasible that at some point in time, Michigan is going to play Ohio State rivalry week and then have a rematch the following week for the Big Ten championship. Like it's completely feasible that is going to happen. And then, I've always thought about it and thought like that's kind of shitty. Kind of devalues the game, right? But then I look at it this year. Like if after what happened at the end of the Michigan Ohio State game, if they had a rematch the following week, after we planted the flag on their field and there was a big fight, that would have been like the most watched college football game.
So much pepper spray. It would have been,
bro. That would have been the most watched college football game in history.
Yeah.
So we literally could see them play each other 3 times at some point in our lives. We could see a regular season matchup at the end of the year, a rematch in the Big Ten in the conference championship, and then if the structure stays, we could see each other playing for either a college football playoff in first round, second round, whatever, or a national championship. So the rivalry could. So, I know Ohio State's calling it a scrimmage because their feelings are hurt and they don't want to admit that they actually just lost was 4 straight years, soon to come 5 straight seasons. But, they don't want to admit it. So, yeah, it's called the scrimmage or whatever. But, yes, it's going to be 5 straight, dude. But,
I want to play them
this rivalry could be renewed if they play each other 2 or 3 times a season, and with the way it's going with NIL, the cultures that we have with both universities, we could definitely see that. We could definitely see that for sure. It's going to be exciting.
It is.
Can't wait.
Yeah, facts.
For sure.
Get ready to pop your anxiety medication, people, because it's about to get crazy this year.
Say your national championship money.
Uh-huh. I'm already coming to 2 games this year. Oh man,
for sure. But everyone, thanks for tuning in. It's always a lot of fun when we can not stay on track because we've got so much interaction that's coming through the chat. So
that's good.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for following along. Thanks for entertaining us. Stay tuned. We're gonna continue to bring some podcasts. Send us questions, right? Give us some topics that you want to hear us talk about. Hopping on here and bringing it up on here while we're live. We will completely segue from what we plan on talking about to answer questions. Or if you're not part of the Facebook group, be sure to join the Facebook group and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. But with that being said, Dre, you wanna sign us off?
Thank y'all for tuning in tonight. Thank y'all for the love and support y'all show me and my brothers, man.
Mm-hmm.
Continue to love one another, respect one another, and always go blue.
Go blue.
Go blue.